We have a two-time national Golden Gloves champion. We have the first woman in Rochester history to qualify for the U.S. Olympic team. You might have seen her with Terrence Crawford. You might have seen her with Clarissa Shields, but this morning, she's hanging with the Real Deal Sports Show. We got Rochester's very own Algeria Johnson in the building. Appreciate you for stopping through. Welcome to the Real Deal Sports Show.
Hi.
We got a lot going on. You know what I mean. We appreciate you for coming through. Talk to us about this upcoming fight. We got about 20 boxers headed to the Blue Cross Arena, headlined by you and several others. Talk to us a little bit about this fight and what we got coming up.
Okay, so this is going to be a big fight in Rochester. I'm on the card, and right now they're currently still looking for me an opponent. But next month I will be fighting in the National Golden Gloves in Oklahoma. So that's a big tournament. And I'm bringing back that four-time national championship.
Claiming it now. You bringing it back. You bringing it back. I know that's right. It's been there. I always see you out in the community, always trying to emphasize the youth and the students and the young people here in Rochester. What does it mean to give back? And being from this community, what does it mean that you having such a positive influence on this younger generation?
It means a lot because I know a lot of the younger generation look up to me, and for them to see someone who set an example and to actually be a part of something that where they have a chance to meet me and talk to me and be able to ask me things. I think that inspires them in whatever they do, whether it's sports or in school or whatever they want to attend to in life. Just seeing someone doing something positive and that they can look up to, I think that helps them in whatever goals that they have set for themselves.
Good morning, Miss Johnson, and congratulations on all the success and that you've had so far. A couple quick questions here. How did you get into boxing? How did who introduced you?
Well, I actually got into boxing at 15. My mom brought me to the boxing gym after I had into a big fight in high school and it had went viral. And for a long time, I wanted to box, but she didn't put me into it until I got in a big fight, and that was like a sign for her, like she needs somewhere to like release her anger.
Like, did you ever see this being kind of, something that you could make into a profession for yourself?
Yes, because I knew from the first day I went to the gym, I knew it was for me because I became obsessed with it. I always wanted to go to the gym. I used to stay in the gym for hours and I just couldn't wait for the next day to go to training. And when I first started, like I was already a fighter, so later down the line I learned like the skills and how to box, the discipline that come with it, the mindset you need to have inside and outside the ring because boxing is mostly a mental sport. So it's not all about, you know, being tough sometimes. It's about having the mindset when those challenges come as well.
Ha- awesome, awesome. Having that kind of fighter's mentality, at the time that your mom introduced you to the sport, but seeing all the positive things and that you're doing in the community, and you're still so young. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know you're a grown woman, but still so young. You know, like kind of how did you make that transition from kind of being someone who was ready to fight, and now you're like, man, how can I now kind of give back to the community?
Um,
What brought about that transition?
I think the transition came from knowing that God gave me a gift, and instead of me, you know, using my anger in a negative way, I found it to use it in a positive way, and that was boxing became my outlet. And I was never like the type of person like to start fights with people. I think more so
You
people,
just ended them,
yeah, I think it was people start with me and I finish it. So
and you've been finishing ever since.
okay, and I'm gonna keep finishing it in the ring though.
Women's boxing, you know what I mean? Talk to us about kind of where how you feel about the sport.
Mhm.
Clarissa Shields, in terms of the attention that she's been able to elevate the platform of women boxing to, and kind of where you see yourself fitting in and where you'd like to see the sport go.
Mhm. Well, women's boxing now is going up and up, and I feel like this is a great time to be a woman in the sport because we have Jake who have MVP promotions, which is like where he signs a lot of women fighters, and we got Alicia Baumgartner. He signed Chantel Cameron, Sadeja Green. Those are a lot of upcoming women who can potentially share the ring with Clarissa Shields. And right now, Clarissa is the best to me, and second is Katie Taylor. So I feel like later along the line, I'm gonna have a chance to be in the ring with the best, and when it's my time, I'm gonna take over. But right now, I believe that Clarissa is number one, and she's the best female right now. And she has the skills, the talent, but she also got a story, and that's what make me, look up to her and follow her footsteps because she was somebody who came from a rough background and made something out of nothing. So I really am inspired by her.
Listen, keep making something out of nothing. Keep being an amazing example to the youth in the community. Not only that you can be a top athlete from a place like Rochester, but that you can make the transition that you made from again from being quick to fight to now quick to give back to the community.
Yes.
That you mentioned Clarissa Shields. What did that pay per view? That was the first ever women's pay per view that took place a month or so ago in Detroit, Michigan, and it was viewed as a very successful pay per view. What does
Hmm.
that mean to you to see two women headline their first ever women headline a pay per view boxing card?
It actually means a lot because ever since I was younger, I used to always see men fighting on TV, and I would rarely see the women. And I always wonder, like, why don't I see a lot of exposure when it comes to women fighting, even in MMA or whatever? I never seen a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women getting the shine. So to see a lot of people that even want to try boxing, because we got YouTube boxers out here, we got Jake Paul. Um, we just got a lot of great fighters and a lot of great women fighters who can actually fight. So it means a lot, and it just shows that once it comes to my time, we won't have to struggle, to get the exposure how it was back then versus now. Like even in women's sports in general, I believe that we're showing that we can have more than just one thing to us. We can still be feminine. We can still fight. Like even in the male dominated world, like I feel like women's sports is just improving overall, even in basketball.
Yes, yes, because even the WNBA, the women brand new contract, Rodman in soccer, she just became the first woman to receive one of the highest pay, over $1 million contract in soccer and women's soccer. So it sounds like it's looking up like it's a great time to be a woman athlete.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, it did. So you don't have a problem with the YouTubers. Do you consider them real real boxers or real athletes? The Jake Pauls, and then now you mentioned some female YouTubers out there.
How I feel about that is when it comes to Jake Paul, at first I didn't consider him as a real boxer, but now that he actually got a coach and he actually learning the fundamentals and taking the time to actually learn, I would consider him as a boxer now. Would I consider him as like an all time great or anything? No, but he can work his way up there. But how I feel about YouTube fighters, I don't
Yes.
consider them real boxers because you gotta put blood, sweat, and tears in the sport, and you know, um, nothing wrong with YouTube fighters, but when it comes to being a real boxer, it's sacrifice. It takes years. It's not something you just pick up and you become great at. So I respect the real fighters and the YouTube fighters who are doing their thing. It ain't nothing wrong with it, but I don't put them in the same category as someone like myself or somebody who really put the time in, the years in. They compete at a national level. You know, they got a USA boxing book and they compete and not,
Absolutely.
outside of the ring, but in USA boxing. That's when you're official.
Most definitely. Now, and this is my last question. I know you got to go. We appreciate you for stopping through early this morning. We know you're busy, you're training, everything going on with you. But as we continue to see the successful athletes coming out of Rochester, New York, in every field, from basketball, football, boxing, so many fields, what can you say about the athletes in Rochester and just Rochester athletics and how that's going to the next level?
It's actually a lot of great fighters here, and I feel like Rochester fighters not getting the shine. We got Javi Mitchell, we got Finest Cummins, we got Messiah. We got a lot of good fighters, upcoming fighters here. That's young, that's skilled, that's number one. We got Dustin Jimenez, who on Team USA. Um, and it's not being talked about, but it's a big thing and it's a big deal to fight at a national level and to win, because it's not hard. You got to cut weight. You fight more than once in a week. And we also got Harley, another young upcoming fighter. Very talented, very skillful. And it's a lot of talent here that don't get the shine. So this Blue Cross Arena card, y'all will have the chance to be able to see some of those fighters, and I think everyone should pop out and come. And I'm praying I get an opponent. It's kind of hard to get me matched up with my experience, but they're still looking, so you never know. And I just can't wait to see like boxing to continue to go up, even in the boxing community in Rochester.
Absolutely. We thank you for joining us on the Real Deal Sports Show. We're excited to see your career just continue to ascend. And, the Olympics is right around the corner for you. I know
Yeah.
you are in LA.
Yes.
Keep it at home. I know that's right. Appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank
joining us.
you. Bye.